All right. Hey, welcome once again. This is the Tampa Business and Real Estate Professionals Network, and we are just meeting entrepreneurs in our community, learning more about them, learning more about their business. Today, we have Tammy Gardner, who is from Gardner Financial Group. I've known Tammy for a little over a year now. Great lady. You guys are going to really enjoy this interview. So, Tammy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your business?
Well, thank you, Gary, and hi, everybody. It's great to be here. I have a great business because I get people out of debt and leveraging and really using their money for themselves instead of the banks. So I spent 30 years in lending, 15 as a loan officer, 15 in loan servicing, and really saw through the whole 2007 and 8 the crash. You look behind the matrix, and like a horror movie, you can never unsee what you just saw. So it really led me on a passionate path to help people really work with their money. So I became a financial advisor in 2014, started helping people, and now this has evolved to I have a wonderful program that helps investors, which I am one myself, and people really pay off their debt with way less interest. And I love helping people. So I'm a real, I love real estate. It's in my blood. So thank you for
That's
having me on today, Gary.
Well, that's awesome. So, tell us how you got your start in the financial business and sort of your journey that's led you to here today. Tell us about that.
But yes, it's life is interesting, right? It takes all these paths. But as I said, I started out when I was 23. I bought my first house and I became a mini little real estate investor. And I went into lending. So I was in lending. And then I went in for 15 years, loan servicing.
Did you go to school for that? Were you like,
I had a degree in economics,
Mhm.
but quite frankly, I learned in the school of life.
The School of Hard Knocks? I got that.
The school of hard knocks, because I probably literally learned more about how interest and money really works in the last
Mhm.
4 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yes,
that's very
yes.
interesting. It's
So
really interesting because I had a couple of kids at my meetup last night, 18 years old, and they were like, so what should we do to get started? Should we be, and I mean, one of them was like, he said, I'm in HCC, going to college, taking courses and stuff. And, but he's like, should I do, and I said, look, you need to go to college if you need a college degree, engineering or doctor or lawyer or something like that. But when it comes to business, I said, you're going to probably learn more from these guys out here reading these books that they've read or that they've written and stuff. Because we had a business guy there, than you are, because the professors in the school, half of them didn't never own a business. They're teaching business. So and if you're a professor in school and you teach business and you used to own a business, well, good for you. We need more professors like you, but I would say you're the minority, right? So,
that's right.
but it was very interesting just talking to some new guys there. Wish I had a chance to start where they started, but that's a great story about learning more as you're in it. That's definitely, I hear that over and over. You just learn more as you're doing it and from experience. So great. Tell me, what do you enjoy most about your profession?
I love helping people and really use the system. I would say to beat the system, but really to win at the system, because this lending system that we're in, it's really stacked in favor of Wall Street and the banks and all that. And we
Mhm.
know that, yet we need it. And so I really love help. I'm passionate about educating people on certain things that I learned at age 63, by the way. And yes,
Mm,
I wish I'd earned them at 18.
mhm.
Um, what kind of difference we can make and really help with our money. And so I love educating people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me ask you this. What separates you and your company from all the rest of the financial advising companies out there?
That's such a great question. I knew you were going to ask me that. you know, there are so many paths out there. Our company, or especially this system that we have, I didn't invent it. This program has been around since 2004.
Hmm.
And actually earned the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year award. And it's been helping investors and homeowners and get out of debt since then. So there's really nothing on the market that's consumer facing exactly like this. There's a lot of budget tools and snowballing and a lot of methods, but the great thing about this is that it takes all of those avenues, debt snowballing, would be velocity banking, infinite banking, it takes all of these. And it really is a conversation. Instead of having an or conversation, it's an and conversation. How do you stack all these things together to really make a difference? And the real main difference is it's the interest volume that we pay over time. If there was just one thing I could say that I've learned, it's the interest rate is one thing. Of course, 2% is better than 7%, obviously, but it's the volume that we pay over time, right?
Yeah.
That is massive. And so that is the thing that this web-based program crushes, the volume, while improving your credit. So I don't know if I answered your question, but there really isn't something exactly like that. There may be soon, or in the future, but there isn't right now.
Cool. It sounds like a really cool program. So let me ask you this: what advice would you give to someone that's just starting out in the financial services business?
I would say in any industry, real estate, financial services, is be willing to learn. Because I realized that a lot of what I knew about money wasn't exactly 100% true, because I was taught in the banking system, right? So you do hear about, hey, if you make an extra mortgage payment a year, you're going to shave about 7 years off your mortgage. That's totally true. But do they really tell you how to pay your home off in as little as 5 to 8 years? No.
Why would they want to do that? They're making money on you.
That's right. Interest is so front end loaded. They want to they get to keep lending, and even when we pay our loans off.
Exactly. Yeah. So, what one thing would you do with your business if you knew you could not fail?
Wow. I would take the message to everybody, like millions. Like if you look at all of us and our families and our spheres of influence in our country, who isn't in debt, and who isn't not necessarily struggling, but who isn't an issue for? You have people who want to just be completely debt free, but you have people that, hey, I want to rapidly build equity and I want to re-leverage my money, let it work for me and my family instead of keeping it in hostage with the banks for 30 years. So I would go harder and faster and reach more people.
Nice. All right. Hey, so you've been involved in finance for 30 years now. So tell me just in your experience, share with us some of your experience about how things have changed in the industry over time.
Oh, it's so interesting, isn't it? I was thinking about this morning, look at the changes we have in our world, but also in the real estate industry. You have the cycles, you have the interest rate challenges, you have the property values going up and down, the pricing, you have the lending requirements, you have everything. So the real change is that there is change, right? There is change. If anything's for certain, it is going to change.
Right.
And it does cycle back around. So I think the biggest lesson for me is to be able to adapt myself as I go with more tools and technology. And today we have a lot of technology that certainly we didn't have when I was 21.
Yeah.
And really use that to not only get through whatever the crisis, not crisis, but the current situation is, but be able to jumpstart and go to the next level using that, like kind of, make lemonade out of lemons kind of a thing.
Yeah. Just more tools to be able to use in there. That's
Yeah.
So what do you see as coming trends in the business and financial?
Well, people are borrowing and needing more and more money to live. And whether you have an investor who has properties, or you have homeowner who's buying their first home, or people in credit card debt, the system is very appropriate because it takes anyone with any kind of debt. It could be a business with business loans. It could be a person with a home. It could be a real estate investor, which I wish I'd had this when I had my properties. I would have paid them. It would have been a little bit of a different situation.
Mm.
I think that that technology is something that we can all really dive into and take advantage of.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They say that when a new piece of technology comes out, you've got about 5 years to take advantage of it, and then it's on to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Isn't that true? You look at AI now, right? I was looking at all these AI
Mhm.
apps, things like that, you can,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. If you're not using AI at some level, you're falling behind the power curve, that's for sure. So, hey,
right, exactly.
so what have you found? What ways have you found to be most effective for promoting your business?
That's such a great question. Honestly, I do a ton of referrals. As I said, who of us don't know somebody who, has a house or wants to buy or increase their
Mhm.
portfolio or has debt or owns a business or whatever. I do a lot of referrals. I do have in my agency, I do a lot of training and things like that. So I do that as well, and client base, and I social media as well.
Mhm.
Now I'm a little older than most of you people, so I'm 67. So I'm kind of learning the social media ropes, and I'm very new at it. So,
Yeah,
but that's been really fun because I think getting the word out. I think
good.
these days with everything that happens in the world, there's so much we can't control. But if we can control our own money better and get it back from the banks and use it for ourselves and our families much faster, then it empowers us to control
Definitely,
our own
definitely. Well,
backyard.
listen, so if someone wants to get a hold of you, Tammy, what's the best way for them to be able to get a hold of you?
Well, let me share my contact information.
Sure, go
But
ahead.
this is but my phone number is area code 818-470-3314. And yes, it's a California number, but I am in Tampa. And so it's 818-470-3314. And my email is Tammy@GardnerFinancialGroup.com.
Awesome. Looks like you got a
Yeah,
LinkedIn profile there too, so they may
I
be able to reach
do.
out to you on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Would love
That's
to
great.
chat with anybody, and I appreciate being on
Great.
here tonight.
Great. Well, let me ask you this one last question. If how do I know somebody I'm talking to is a perfect referral for you?
Uh, that would really be anyone, if you're talking to an investor, really anybody who has any kind of debt or real estate, but they could
Mhm.
just have consumer debt as well. I work
Mhm.
with several different types of people. You have people that are just struggling with debt, and it's really whether they have real estate or not, and they just want to get out of debt, get this gone. The other group of people are people that investors, especially, that look, I want to leverage my money. I want to
Mhm.
create equity and then reborrow it.
Mm.
So and reuse it for my own investments. So really anyone on that, on any end of the spectrum,
Okay.
and then there's no one too small or too big. I just helped a 29-year-old with his family, and they had a little bit of extra money a month. They had 3 kids, paycheck to paycheck, and they're going to pay their house off 10 years or 13 years earlier. They were so
Wow.
happy.
Oh,
And
that's
then I
awesome.
helped an investor save $650,000 on their mortgage payoff, the 2
Nice.
mortgages. So
Nice.
whatever, I'm
That's
here to
great.
help educate.
All right. So Tammy, she shared her contact information. If you want to get a hold of her, LinkedIn or by phone or by email. Hey, I just want to say thanks, Tammy, for coming on. You also may be able to find Tammy at the Business and Real Estate Professionals Network of Tampa. We
Oh,
meet on the second Tuesday of every month at Dave and Buster's in East Tampa near Brandon. It's in the same area where Top Golf is. If don't go to the bar downtown that's named Dave and Buster's. I don't know how they get away with having a bar the same name as this big company called Dave and Buster's. So, but thank you, Tammy, for coming on. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate your time. Tammy, nice to meet you. Enjoyed learning more about you and your company.
Gary, thanks so much for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.